So I want to talk to you guys. We just living in some crazy times. The deceptions continue to rise. Like I said, more wars and all this stuff is coming to pass. The Bible talk about everything. If you look in the scripture where it talks about everything that's going to happen in those end times, it's literally coming to pass. And a lot of people they're going to try to reject it. A lot of people they're going to try to say, "Oh, it's not real." They'll just make all types of excuses of why they do not want to believe that we're clearly in the end days. And so, there's so much stuff going out there in Israel, did different things. Think something just happened. I guess it was like a bunch of birds or whatever like that in Chicago. I guess, just came out of nowhere, like crashing into like some kind of building. That was one of the things that I was hearing about. And I'm just like, it's so much chaos. It's like every day I wake up, it's always something new. It's always something that's constantly happening. They said it was just a really huge 6.4 really huge earthquake. I can't remember what place it was, but they said it was just a huge earthquake. So all these things is all coming to pass. The Bible talks about rumors of wars, and what do we see now? You know, people can make up all types of reasons of why they don't want to believe it, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you don't believe in God, or if it doesn't matter if you don't believe in his word. His word is still true no matter what. No matter if you don't believe it or you have something against it, it doesn't stop that his word is true. I mean, it just goes to show you Satan is really proving to you that, hey, Jesus is real. Why Christianity is the only religion that's constantly being attacked. If you look at every other religion that these man-made people done created, you don't see no backlash. You don't see no. That's why it's so easy for people to receive it. There was a person that I was trying to get to to follow Jesus, just minister to. I remember it was this guy I was ministering to a very long time. It was like he was so shaky to be a follower of Jesus Christ. He would just ask a bunch of questions. That's what it comes with. But then next thing you know, a couple months down the road, then he's talking about, well, I'm gonna be a Muslim and this and that. This is what I'm practicing. I'm saying, okay, so you don't want to practice, trying to be be to know more about Jesus Christ and be a follower of Jesus. You don't want to be a Christian. But when all this other religion comes up, you're so quickly to accept it. Why is Christianity always being why is it like when it comes to Christianity, people it's like they just kind of like resist, like they just like, oh, I don't want to do that because it comes with this, it comes with that. But if you look at all the other religions, it's like it's so easy for people to follow, and this stuff is continuing to increase. And what I'm really trying to say is that it's so much chaos. It's so much chaos. And I've been saying it for a long time. I believe all this chaos is coming from the spirit because the Bible talks about the spirit of Antichrist is already moving. It's already moving through the media. It's moving through the news. It's moving out through the natural. Wherever ads, whatever, the Antichrist spirit is just moving. And he's coming after the people that are in power. He's coming after the people that's no different presidents and stuff like that. These people that are in power, that have the money, that have the status and stuff. That's where the spirit of Antichrist comes to, because if he knows he can fool them, he can fool the whole nation. And so what you're seeing now is that he's coming. It's like, what did the Bible say? That he comes down with great wrath because he knows he only have a short amount of time to work. We're clearly seeing that. I mean, ever since we hit to 2023, it's just been nothing but chaos. After the pandemic, it's been nothing but chaos. And it's just been so much stuff. Then they're talking about a new, virus that's trying to come out and stuff. I'm saying, look, man, it's gonna get to a place. You're gonna have to get to a place and get somewhere close to God. You're just gonna have to. And so many people they say, well, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with that. The Bible says you would be hated for his name's sake. So my thing is, you can't be a Christian and don't think you're going to get some kind of backlash from the world. It doesn't work like that. If you're not getting no backlash from the world or no resistance from the world, you need to ask, are you truly following Christ? That's what you need to ask yourself. And it's just crazy, man. And like I said, the Antichrist, when he come on the scene, he's going to appear that, hey, I can fix this, I can change this, because it's going to be so much going on. It's going to be so much stuff happening back to back to where so many people are going to be like, look, I just need some temporary peace. And they're not going to want to turn to Jesus because they feel like they're going to have to go through a lot of stuff and give up a lot of things. And, they constantly keep making different religions. They constantly putting out false sound doctrines and stuff like that. You know, it's a lot of stuff that people are believing in than the Bible. So that's constantly being pushed out of the world, and so people, they're going to look for a quick and temporary peace, and so that's going to come from the Antichrist. This is why I say so many. This is why the Bible say only a few is going to be able to see, that narrow path, because everything is constantly getting broad. Every day something is getting broader in the world. Why? That's because they're trying to push you away much as possible from Jesus Christ, for you knowing who he is, for you following him. Because if this was a Christian nation and we was all coming together by Christ, we wouldn't see the stuff that we're seeing now. The reason why we're seeing the stuff that we're seeing is because we have allowed so much deception to just come into the even coming into the church now. The church is looking more worldly, more than anything else, and people will still justify and say, "Oh, quit being religious and all this and that." No, this is the truth. And people going in the church bound, coming back out, and they still bound. Nothing ain't even changed because you're not getting to the root of the problem. And people done compromise the gospel so much that people is just getting to a point they're like, look, why do I even need to go to the church when the preacher and all these other people, they're doing the same thing as the people in the world? And this is where it's going to cause a lot of collision. Even in when it comes to politics and stuff like that, that's where the persecution is going to come through. If you look at all in the Bible, that's a lot of times that always has something to do with the politics and stuff. So we're clearly seeing that now, because even with the guidelines of social media and stuff, they always say you can't talk about things with politics. Why? Because that's where the persecution is going to come through. And so they're going to do whatever it takes. Because I've noticed anytime I talk about, Biden, the politics and all this stuff, they always hide my videos. I even type in politics or whatever's going on, and they only have CBN and news and all types of other media outlets to talk about it, but you don't see people's actual content talking about it. Because why? The algorithm moves you out the way. They only allow news people to talk about stuff when we know the news is false. We know it, and that's just the truth. And you got this, the LG community, they're constantly promoting that, and we're just seeing just so much chaos everywhere. But the Antichrist is going to come on saying that he's going to be like, hey, I can fix this. Hey, I can give you that peace, which is false peace. It's only temporary peace. It's that temporary peace is to draw you into him, because there's going to be so much chaos going on in the world that people are just going to be like, look, I need some instant peace. Like, I just need it. And when he come on the scene, so many people are going to bow down to it. But then you're going to know at the end, like, wait a minute, this guy's not really here to help us. He's making us to be slaves. He's making us to follow the beast. And this is where you're going to have a spirit of discernment. Because if it comes down to, it may cost your life. Are you going to sit there and say, look, I'm rejecting Jesus? Or are you going to say Jesus? But you got to understand, when you say Jesus, it's going to be a problem for you. And are you willing? Are you going to be ready for that time? Because you got a lot of people, they say, well, it didn't happen over here. It didn't happen over here. But it could happen over here. That's the thing. And that's where people get so comfortable, because they say it didn't happen over here. It only happened over there. So I'm just going to be complacent. I'm going to sit back and just be chilling like nothing happened. No, because it can totally, if it's happening over there, it can totally happen over here. People are getting so comfortable. It's like the more deception, the more the wars and all this stuff is rising. It's like more people are just sitting back and just like, hey, everything is cool. And nobody want to hear this, because nobody don't want to really believe that we're in the end days. They don't want to believe that. It's like hard for them to receive that. So that's why you got so much entertainments and all that stuff to keep people's flesh going. But as they being entertained, they don't even know what's going on. They don't know what laws they're pushing out. They don't know what agendas they put. They don't even know. Because why? They've been so rocked to sleep by Satan. So you're going to need to be in a place with God more than ever before. You're going to have to know God for yourself. That's my advice to everybody. Get close to Jesus much as possible. Just get close to him, no matter what. If you got to turn stuff off, turn it off. If you got to turn me off, turn me off. Whatever you need to do, get into a place with God for yourself. Because we're clearly, truly living in the end times. And it's just so sad that a lot of people, that's the sad part. People don't see it. People just don't see it. Because why? They've been blinded by the God of this world. Some people, some people, most people don't want to see it, but I believe some people do see it. They just don't acknowledge. They just don't say nothing. Because it didn't happen here. If you don't know God for yourself, you're going to be fooled by this world. You're going to be easily persuaded, easily influenced. And when the pressure gets hard, what are you going to do? You're going to back away from the faith. And you don't want to back away from the faith. That's the worst thing you can do. Stay in the place of God so you can get stronger within Him. So you would know to stand your ground, even if something like this were to happen around here. Keep the nations up in prayer. Keep the other countries up in prayer. These are the end days. And it's sad to see the stuff that's happening. But the Bible saying must come to pass. Love you guys until next time, Jesus Christ's name.